So it is my job to introduce the speaker of the day. And before I do, Shane has been really good. He has tried to avoid mentioning the YMCA in their fundraising drive because he didn't want to get fined. Well, I can do that today. Shane is in charge of getting the new YMCA built here in the city of Stillwater. It's going to be a really good thing for the community. Well, thank you for that. All right, without that, I understand Shane has 3 daughters and a son. You and your son, I feel so sorry for. It's got to be hell in that house sometimes. Outside of being hell in the house. I don't know if y'all heard that. There's hair everywhere, so I will let that go. Welcome, Shane. He's done a great job for the year, and we hope to see him around a little bit longer. Shane.
Thanks, Tim. I'm going to do something, and I'm probably going to screw everything up. But Christy told me that I thought Kristen was coming with us to Rotary today, the oldest daughter, who many of you know. Well, this is Christiana that's sitting here at the table. And what year was this? 2013, I think, or 2014? We had a Rotary project. She was National American Miss Oklahoma for her age group back in that day. And so she had several community projects. And so one of them we did was with Rotary, and there was a student home or a children's home out east of town. And so one of the projects is we went into the dormitories and we painted all the rooms, put on a fresh coat of paint. And so Christiana spearheaded that, along with a little help from maybe her mama. And we painted all the dorms, and then we got all the kids a bed in a bag. Is that what?
Fresh bedding. We painted all the walls, and we put new day sports, stacked new day sports on, and we bought some kitchen supplies.
So I had that in my phone, and Christy said, I think Christiana's going to come with me. I'm waiting for her. So I was like, I think I have a picture of Christiana painting back when so all my kids were involved in Rotary. Was Bit born? I don't know if Bit was she there? So they all got paint everywhere then. All right, well, that was a good time. So this year, our president of Rotary, the theme was to create hope in the world. And so as we go through the slideshow, I'm confident that our little club here in Stillwater created a little bit of hope in the world. And whenever you go to compile all the things that we do, you guys do, there's quite a few things. And so first of all, if I miss something, I apologize. And I want to thank everybody for letting me serve. And it was a fun year, and I'm excited for Tim and next year and the incoming board. So let's get on. We're going to start with thank you to Chris Norris. Where'd he go? Oh, he's hiding from me. Chris gets our programs for us, and I know Glenna helps with the political side of things, but Chris gets those things. They're scheduled already out in August, September, October. He hadn't got me on there yet. He said he was going to get me on there for the Y project, so we can talk about that now. Okay. Such a nice guy. That's why everybody likes him. We're going to talk about that on the next slide. That you're taking away my program, Scott. So thanks, Chris. And then Kevin back there in the corner. He keeps us moving. He got the video going. He makes the sound good, and he's all things Rotary. So thank you both for what you do to make sure that we got these meetings. Yes. So now then we go to people who changing jobs. I think right after she came and talked, she got a different gig, and we're going to see her here in about next month or the month after. I think she's coming back. Jenny Carlson, and I'm correct me if I was wrong, she's the first sports writer for the Oklahoman female, right? Isn't that what she told us? And then we had our own Rachel Conley spoke, and then we had a Stillwater History Museum presentation, and Laura Alstrom talked about women's status in Oklahoma. And take a good look at Chris right there. Then August hits, and over here we got Chris on the right. And Chris tried to play first baseman for the softball team, and it didn't work out too well, as you can see. And nobody touched him. It just happened. So we had two powerful speakers right there in the pictures. We had Cortland Warren. Cortland's coming back, and then I did not see this, but Tim, I think, mentioned a while ago that we got Reverend Lori Walkie coming back. Great presenters. She was an OSU alum, played basketball at OSU. And Mark came, and he was just here last month and gave the presentation back in August on the 23-24 McKnight Center programs. We had Justin Brown and Riley Scribner finished those off, and then we moved into September. Chris is still bundled up, and I'll take a picture with those two guys anytime because they can make me look good. We got Barry Trammell, Barry and Chris. And yeah, you guys are figuring that out, aren't you? Take a good close look at Barry. Yeah. And then Scott Petty brought in a group of college students who were raising money and for water, Wishes to Water, for a project in Zimbabwe. And they gave an awesome presentation, and our club ended up helping fund that project. And then we also had Randy Crable and Ann Kane come present in September, going on to October.
We need to pause at October. Maybe someone forgot to pick up your cake. I don't know who that was, and I'm really sorry. But we love you live!
You're not going to sing, are you?
Maybe. So now there's dessert. We'll be around shortly. Oh, wait. Carrie wants one too. This is so cute.
I told Meredith I'd get pictures for her today. Great, fabulous.
Thank you, ladies, I think. Will you test that first, Rachel? Okay, all right. I'll have a piece after that. So birthday boy brought in Lacey Swope, who's full of energy, with David Payne's right-hand woman at News 9 in the weather, who is an avid deer and elk hunter that we learned that day. And then we also heard from Stephanie Fry and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, executive director, talked about the impact that that program has on kids. And I see that every other day or every couple days that we got Big Brothers and Big Sisters come in and use the YMCA, so it's a great program. Our district governor came in October and presented the club. We were the #1 district Rotary Foundation club for the money raised per capita. And then we got another banner, every Rotarian, every year, $100, 100% participation. So I think everybody needs a round of applause for thanking themselves for doing that. That's awesome. And then we had Father Robert Healy come. Dr. Holbrook got him, and we had most Zoom or YouTube. How many? More than 800 views of this on our YouTube station after it's over with. Gave a presentation on a replica of the cloth that Jesus was buried in the tomb, and stretched it out. If you weren't here, stretched it out, and you could see it was pretty amazing, the imprints of the face and the legs. And so that was an awesome program. And then our latest member, Michael, there you are. We heard from Michael Shaw, with the executive director of the Stillwater Medical Foundation, and now she's a member. So, and we had to go through COVID a couple of times or something with that to get you here, but then we finally got you a name badge. So we had Michael Shaw, and then I got an update from Stillwater Public Schools, and then I'm not going to go with the last name because everybody knows him as Bayfar. Bayfar came and spoke about his business, Interworks, and then he talked about his commitment to the city, and everyone knows that Bayfar is doing a lot and a great asset for this community. And we got into December, and I could not get that picture with the Town and Gown Singers to come up on my computer. I'm not going to blame that on Meredith because Meredith's not here, and I want Meredith on my good side. They came and gave a performance for us. And then we also heard from Christy Wicker about Wild Care Oklahoma. That's down in Noble. They took in animals that were injured and not in the right places, and they nurse them back and get them back into the wild. Very interesting program. Then we jump into January, and we got David Downing, Pokes with a Purpose, everything NIL, raising money. No longer there? Well, former Pokes with a Purpose person, David. Yeah. Hey, you're the recruiter. And then we heard from Courtney Callison as well, one of our newest club members, about election and getting people to help volunteer and registered and all the things that go election-wise. We got to hear about blood drives with Jesse Dersham. And then we got to hear about media deserts with Rachel Hubbard and Jenny Mae Harms. February comes around, we get a little political. We had Tim, Rotarian of the Day. I was in Indianapolis. We had Attorney General Gentner, however you say it, Drummond was here. And then we had our new city manager, Kimberly Meek, also presented that month. Abby Davis, another Rotarian, gave a presentation. We got to hear and got to see, Abe Lincoln showed up and gave a presentation. What did you say, Chris? Did I miss something? Yeah. Going into March, we had our first forum. We had Gay Washington and Sheila Means come, and we had question and answers. And I just want to give another shout out to Kevin for moderating those. And we have 3? Well, we'll go into others, but Kevin does a great job. And it's always good to have people come in and hear the different opinions. And it's always fun to have Coach G, come in and speak to the club and give us an update on OSU softball right before, well, they're going hot and heavy there in March. And then we heard from our Stillwater Chamber Director. And then we got an update on the Washington School Preservation as well in March. April, Joe Ogle gave an awesome presentation on One World Health. Great mission for rural areas in Uganda, giving out medicine. People travel for days to get medical treatment there. Shared that with us. We were able to help with that. So just hats off to you, and that program is awesome. Great program. And then finally, we got Senator James Lankford here, and he gave us an update on all the great things that are going on in Washington. So it was a really short program. No, it was good to hear from him. I'm just being kind of naughty. Maybe. And then we got to hear from Shoshana Wasserman and Sarah Brown. Got to hear about the Stillwater Children's Museum. It's coming back to life and going to be traveling around the city. Had a second forum and a third forum with our senator for Oklahoma Senate Candidate 21 Forum. We had James Wynn and Dr. Grellner. And then we had Chris Redding and Seth Conley for District Number 2. Got to hear them talk. Rachel, we will fine you if you say anything. Two great forums. And then you can see we heard from Mark Sneed, Greg Brungart, Ivy, and Swan, and Jana Nelson gave us an update and information about Mission of Hope in May. And then that led us to June, to where we are to now. And we had, Glenna, I think, do you get these? Or does Chris get these? You got these two ladies? We had our Oklahoma State Auditor. I was stressed out during that whole presentation. And then there wasn't, I don't know if there wasn't time for questions, but I don't think anybody wanted to ask a question. I think everything was clarified, that we got a lot of issues with tracking money and accountability and transparency with money in the state of Oklahoma. Great program. And then we found out a week before, was it last week Leslie was here? Leslie was here last week. And Chris asked her, and she is not going to run for governor, but she gave an update on the Labor Commission and jobs in Oklahoma. And so we had two great programs. And then we also had Mark again. We got him a little earlier this year because they got the season out. Got him on the schedule, so we had a program and got to learn about the upcoming performances at the McKnight Center. So thank you for all the programs that you got, Chris and Glenna and whoever else. I know some other people help every now and then, but we had a great slate of programs this past year. Yes. Now let's get into some things that Rotarians did, or if you look on the right, didn't do. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, that's you. So we served about, I asked Marcia how many people were served, and she said about 250 individuals got served at Empower Luncheon. So you can see the workers over there on the left. Thank you to them. And then I guess these three were guarding the desserts because there's desserts by them. They got rubber gloves on. They got plastic gloves on, and then Gary's got a big stick. So I don't know if anybody got dessert. But anyway, those three were there. I don't know what happened there, and I don't want to know anything else. So we'll just go on to the next slide. But thank you to all those that volunteered and served there and protected the desserts. Stephen Cundiff, this is our second year to do this. Stephen's here. There's Stephen. Second year to do this. This club, yes. This club is our second year. My family got to help with it, not this year, but last year whenever we went over to Perkins, and we did stuffed backpacks for feeding the kids at Christmas time, and 1,800 kids got fed. Is that correct, Stephen? That's the number I think you gave me. So that's I think a Friday night, Saturday morning gig, and a little bit more work for Stephen that happens over in Perkins. A great outreach that we do, serves a great need, and a lot of kids got food that probably weren't going to get it and help sustain them over the break. So thanks to Stephen for heading that up, and thanks for the birthday, what's it called? Birthday club, because we almost got it funded today. Yeah. That table, you guys need to keep exercising. Keep it up. We need you around a little bit when we get this stuff funded. I'll offer you free memberships. Then we had high school parking. Jane headed this. Jane headed up a lot of stuff. But Jane, thanks to you and your team, we had over 50 hours of Rotarians volunteer, and James is not here, and I was going to harass him. I had some other pictures I didn't put in here, but I'm glad he's not here now because I'm not ready to harass him. I had proof of what he really does whenever he's he eats a lot of pizza and then he talks. But anyway, good time. I got to do that last couple years, and it's always fun fellowship. And then 500 meals got delivered. Right at 500 meals got delivered for mobile meals. And thanks to all of those individuals who deliver on Tuesdays, it takes about an hour of your time. You go pick it up at the hospital. There's 2 stops. I'm doing a commercial right now, right? There's 2 stops, and then you can go to Sonic afterwards, and you'll be done in less than an hour. So great program, and that was something I think we started whenever. How many years have we done this? When the new club came? You done it for 30 years. This club has done it for 2? 2. So great program. Thanks, Jane. And then our reading program, as everybody know, Will Rogers students, we have 80 kids that we read to twice a month. So we had 64 different individuals. Many read multiple times. Thanks, Jane, for getting all that. I got to go over there. I promised her I would go. I got to go over there towards the end of the year, and I was the new kid on the block, and they gave me, I got last pick on classroom. So if you go in, it's the one on the right, the very first one. Don't do that classroom. Especially when they got a substitute teacher that's about as old as my daughter. Oh, they were wired and wound up. But it was fun. What? Dr. Holbrook never has had that class then. And then we got a little cat in a hat going on with Connie and Butch. I think they probably had more fun than the kids. So thank you guys for reading and making it fun. And then we got $3,000 were awarded in scholarships. Thanks Bob and Carson for heading that up. And then we had 17 student guests come and visit our club throughout the year, got introduced, got to learn a little bit more about them. So thank you for doing that, the both of you. And it's always good to have the high school kids come in and share with us. Now, Trivia Fest. Butch, where you at? Everybody get a shout out to Butch. $6,000 raised. Thanks, Butch. I know there's a lot of time, a lot of talent, a lot of effort goes into that. And thank you. And all the people, I don't know who all helped him. I know a bunch of people helped him. And it can't go on without help. And I know Butch has done that several times. And great fundraiser. So hats off to you. Got a picture of Butch there. And then you can see on the right, we've got a huge crowd. And then this really scares me, the picture in the middle. And Meredith is not here. And they're all dressed in black. We all know Meredith. And then we have Jane. And Jane looks kind of scared, like, I'm really not guilty, but I've got drug into this mess. So they're the winners, I guess. They had the trophy. We'll just keep on moving on after that. And then we have Doug, and he's giving everybody the number 1 sign, if you look real close. Doug's not here, is he? Darn, I was hoping Doug was here. This was the only picture that we had of Doug, and I had to put it in there, and I couldn't edit it. So Doug, he was fired up. And he should have been, because he raised $17,000, wine to water. And so, yes. I hope he wasn't making a toast where everybody saw that. But anyway, thanks to him and all the Rotarians that attended. You can see Rotarians in the picture attending, and those that volunteered. A Rotarian right there handing out tickets, telling jokes or something. Looks like a good time. So we are creating hope in the world. Our club raised, with the help of our Happy and Crappy Bucks and Kara, and we raised $1,838, and that's going to go even higher after today to help eradicate polio. Dr. Holbrook came, presented a project to us, and with his experience and knowledge of global grants, he thought this was a solid project, and when our club voted, we haven't paid it out yet, but it's a ginormous grant, and our club is going to put $5,000 towards a water project in Guatemala. So we'll look forward to seeing that project progress. And then as we got on the back table today, Rotarians donated monthly to needed food items for our daily bread. So thank you for all those who bring items. So total, $28,204 got contributed from our club. That needs a round of applause. To 16 different organizations. And you can just go through, I'm not going to read them all off, but you can see the impact that we do from literacy in our hometown. We did relief efforts for tornado victims down in District 5770. And, of course, we give to the Rotary Foundation that goes all over the world, helps Special Olympians, and just good things got benefited because of the donations, the money that we raise, and so something to be very proud of. we welcomed in 10 new members. I know there's several of them here today. Elizabeth Beck, Krista Merrill, Matt Davison, Kelly Reed, Brian Langford Loftus, Courtney Callison, Reverend Larry Job, Kimberly Meek, Jeff Bryant, Michael Shaw. Thank you all to our new members. There's a few of them in that room. Thank you. Thank you and welcome. And my goal, just my own personal goal, is, you know, every time you're in Rotary, you talk about membership drives and all that stuff, and your hope that you don't decrease, that you maybe maintaining or breaking even is a victory. And we were doing really good and didn't even have to talk about membership drives or anything like that throughout the year. And then we were plus, and then here at the end, we kind of lost a few for different reasons. And my understanding with our treasurer is we stayed flat. So I call flat a victory. And so welcome all the new members. And I think we're 100 or 101. So we have a nice sized club. Last week, we presented Robin Atkinson with the Paul Harris Fellow. Thank you for all your work in doing that. Appreciate that, Connie. And so we had a committee, Connie and committee. Who was on your committee?
Matt was on there, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. Don't catch me on.
Okay, moving on along. Anyway, thank you to the committee members to help Connie with that. Well-deserved award went out to Robin, and so thank you for doing that. And then lastly, I want to thank our board of directors who, whenever I visited with them, I guess it's been almost 2 years ago, they all said yes. And then we had to bribe Glenna just a little bit. But thank you, Glenna. Thanks to Ivan's not here today. Ivan is awesome. Ivan keeps our money in such detail, and he does a great job. In the 20-some years of Rotary, he is great at doing the treasure job. Sarah was asked to stay on an extra year. Thanks, Sarah, for staying on an extra year with the early departure of our past president. And Tim, good luck to you. That's all I got to say. Michael's not here. Michael keeps all the food service moving good. Jane is she's going to be happy like me today. Jane did a lot. Thanks, Jane, for all that you do. Carson, New Generations, we just talked about. Meredith did the communications. Kevin is all things Rotary. It's not just international service. It's sound, it's programs, it's Rotarian of the Day. He does it all. Thanks, Connie, for your work. Stephen, member at large for the last 2 years, be rolling off the board. But we will definitely continue to use your time and your talent and your treasure, because Stephen is all things Rotary as well. A great asset to our club. And Kara gets to stick around. Yeah, get the single clap for Kara. Thanks for raising money, getting trivia, getting the prayer, getting the pledge. Appreciate you. And you do get a lot of harassment as well. So thanks to all the board members. And then lastly, Marcia, behind the table back there. Marcia. Greetings and bell ringing. You're awesome at it.
What about the computer work of checking you guys in?
We won't talk about that. We got some errors we got to discuss. But Tim will talk with you about that. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Marcia. And then many of you don't know, but Mark Gunkel and his accounting firm, they do our books, and they do an awesome job for almost next to nothing. And so we don't want to put a true cost. Don't want to bring that up. Don't think about that, Mark. Pretend like I didn't even mention that, Mark. But thank you and your firm for taking care of the books. So I think that's the last slide I have till I turn it over to Tim. So once again, I probably left somebody. What are you waving at, Marcia? Okay. Well, keep your fingers down, because I couldn't tell what you were doing. Thanks. We're in trouble. Larry.
I know that Tim is going to handle this later, but the only person that didn't get thanked is holding the other microphone. And I think we all ought to give him a round of applause to Shane Harland for his work here too.
Thank you. Are you in a hurry? We'll save you a piece of cake. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Tim, you're up. Let's go.
Shane, thank you very much for your great leadership. It's humbling to take over after you. You've set the bar high. I hope to exceed the bar greatly. But thank you very much. Let's give him one more hand. Can I lead us out?
Absolutely.
All right. The four-way test of things we think, say, or do. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4.
Will be beneficial to all concerned.
Ding!
No